Let's get this started.
Get this party started.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Max Barreau. With me is my co-host, Philip Wilson. And again, joining us today is Jeffrey. How's it going?
Good.
Awesome. How's it going?
I'm alive.
You're alive.
It's a good
All right.
thing.
It is a good thing. Life is wonderful. So, what are we doing today? So, I guess I'll just main screen it.
It's you.
Yep. Someone actually linked did the effort of actually linking to Zero Wing and All Your Base, so maybe people will actually understand the reference soon.
That's
I didn't have
awesome.
Unity open, so okay. So I guess we can keep
So we're
talking
gonna
about
open
Sinistar
Unity.
while we're opening Unity.
Beware, I live.
Oh, this might be a good time to also mention Ikaruga.
Oh yes, Ikaruga is available on PC. So we've mentioned it a couple times on the show, and if you're one of those PC folk, which you might be, I know you have one if you're watching. Well, I don't know that actually.
You could
These
be
days,
watching
it could be
on
anything.
like a smartphone for all.
Could be anything. What am I doing? 2D shooter. So yeah, if you want to play that, if you like shooters, I recommend checking it out. If you're planning on making a shooter, I recommend checking it out. It's good research material for.
It is one of the finest shooters.
Yeah,
I've ever
level design wise, I would say that it is easily the best shooter out there. Level design wise,
That game rewards you with more work.
It does, and it's a great thing. It's like, oh, you killed all those enemies. Here's some bonus enemies so you can get more score.
Yep.
That are harder.
Yep.
So, we've got... I'm going to go ahead and just get Mono Develop thinking in the background here, so I'm just going to click a random script and have that go while we check out where we're at. And my screen is reorganized again. Whatever. It's a fluid organization anyway, we can do whatever we need. So I'm just going to move it over here. Oh, that was looking better in the... Oh, I can't undo that. Okay. There we go. There's our gameplay.
You haven't saved your screen organization?
Saving is highly overrated. No, I probably should. Here, let's do something. Save layout, 2D shooter, vertical. Save. All right, there we go. Now we have a saved layout.
Yay.
So, what are we doing? Now, what that does means that I think everyone knows this, but I'm going to do it anyway. You can change your layouts and you can change back. Sometimes people have different layouts for doing different things too, and I really need to start doing that. Like, if you're working with animations, you might have the animation thing and a few other windows, and if you're working with, an individual object or a state machine, you might have that kind of thing as a layout, so that way you don't have to juggle as many windows. You just switch modes. So, on our last episode... I don't care about that level, I don't think. Oh, yes. So, we have a ship. We have shooting. We have missiles. We have this little AI spaceship that kind of travels around with really bad settings right now. And so, I had a couple requests. First of all, someone noticed a bug. There's a bug in the way that our spread shot is working right now. And what I mean by that is it's kind of hard to tell because right now it looks like it's kind of working right because we said 45 degrees, right? And it seems like it's about 45 degrees. But the problem is if we make it something like, I don't know, 360 degrees. Actually, let's do 300 degrees.
Okay.
And we watch this. And in particular, I'm going to click on this thing in the... We don't want to maximize. There we go. We'll just look at it in the scene here. You'll see that this thing is definitely not going 300 degrees. That's way less than 300 degrees. Why does it slow down so much when you die the first time on this project?
I do not know.
That is so weird. Oh, I know what it probably is. It's probably initializing the GUI system, actually. Because we don't have it actually rendering anything ahead of time.
Aha.
I don't think it's actually related to, like, the spawning or anything. But you can see that if we just click on the left barrel here, that's like 90 degrees. That's not 300 degrees at all. And if we set it... and so the problem is we're assuming that the period is 1 in certain cases in the code right here. And we're going to fix this real quick first. So if we go to the rotate back and forth 2D here, our assumption... Let me get rid of this. Quit.
It's so good except for on this show.
Yeah. So... right now we're doing rotate forth and rotate back, and the assumption we're making is that the time is actually only 1.0 f as opposed to the rotation time.
Yeah.
And where we're assuming this, it's not very obvious, but the way we did this is as a procedural transformation here. So you rotate a certain amount and then you rotate back. And so we're doing it time.delta time times end rotation, and time.delta time will only be incremented. Wait, let's see. So we actually don't want to rotate that amount. We want to rotate it that amount times rotation time times 0.5 f. So if we do that, rotation time times 0.5 f. And if we do that on the fourth as well, except where we keep the negative right where it's at, and make sure that there's a multiply there, that should solve our problem. Also, the end rotation start rotation thing I don't think is correct either. And I'm not actually, because the thing is, we don't actually go towards the starting rotation, and we don't set the start rotation at any point. We rotate the right amount, assuming that we're not at the start rotation, but then we don't rotate the right amount back. Or do we? No, we rotate the right amount back, but it basically just adds these two numbers together instead of subtracting them like... Well, that's not exactly right either. We're subtracting them obviously here, but it doesn't do what we expect it to do. So I think I'm actually just going to have it just be rotation for right now, because we're doing this as a relative rotation anyway. See that relative rotation? It would make more sense if we were doing something like rotate between these two angles. In this case, we're rotating between the starting angle and then the ending angle. So let's go ahead and actually this may drift over time too. I'm interested to see if that's the case, but we'll actually check that in a second. So I needed to change this to rotation, so all we're going to do is just make this say times rotation and times rotation. Save, replace, overwrite, yes, okay. I had to do all that because we're in version control right now, and I really should have these set to writable on client. Yeah, I'll do that later. I'll do it probably after 3 times of doing that and going crazy.
Yeah.
So, so now if we go back here and do play, this should operate... it's not operating that well. Oh, wait, no. It's because it's set to 90 now. Although that's definitely not 90 degrees.
No.
So I think maybe I should have... When I said times, I actually meant divide by. So let's do divided by rotation time times 0.5 f. One of those directions. Remember, with math, you can just keep trying things. You don't have any homework to turn in. You're okay. Just enjoy the math.
Enjoy the math. Be one with the math.
Is it time to check out that file yet?
Okay, fine. I'm just going to check out all the script files for right now, because I'm going to change their type anyway to not require to be checked out. And then this will solve 1.5 problems at a time. Where's Perforce? There we go. Do it. Check it out. Alright. What was happening is those files are set to read-only, which doesn't really affect, like Unity has all its files set to read-only as well, but Unity doesn't care that they're read-only. It just wipes out the files anyway. MonoDevelop is, like, extremely perturbed that these files say, hey, I can't write to these. Are you sure you want me to do this?
Yeah.
So...
Well, it's nice of it to ask.
So now if we go back to... Yeah, it is nice of it to ask. Left barrel...
Actually, looks a little
That looks
bit more
close
like
to 90 degrees. Let's try 360. 360.
That looks like pretty close to 360.
Yep, that's looking pretty good.
Well, you should shoot it when it's like that.
All right. We're gonna look like a boss. I'm a boss.
Oh, that's weird. One of them's...
Oh, because I only changed one of
moved
them.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. Yeah, let's actually do the other one too. Let's just make them crazy. Negative 360. Where is it? Missile right barrel. Negative 360.
That's actually kind of cool.
And then if we change the bullets, we're gonna. I'm just sketching a boss here real quick. Hold on.
Looks like you're trying to fly with your
Player
guns.
laser.
It does.
Move forward. We're gonna make these like
200.
way slower. Are you kidding me?
200.
5,
Oh.
10. Let's do 10. Let's see what 10 looks like.
I want to see 200. That's kind of cool too.
Yeah, it needs to be slower still. We want this to be bullet hell.
The bullet.
Wonderfulness.
There needs to be more bullets. Still needs to be more bullets. I think. That looks really neat.
Well, let's just duplicate this a couple times and this a couple times.
No, we have a fire rate.
Yeah, I think we're at the maximum fire rate, quite frankly. No, we're probably not. And actually duplicating those did nothing for us.
That actually makes sense why it did
Yeah,
nothing
because,
for
well,
us.
it did plenty. It's just that it's
They were
the
just-
live in the plane, die in the plane problem.
Yep.
It would just hit a lot of things at once and then continue going because there's a lot of them. So, what do I have for shooting rates? So we've got shot delay of 0. So that's every frame we're shooting. So what we actually do need is we need like a couple more of these, but we need to offset them a little bit or change the rotation rate. Let's actually do that. Let's do what we were doing before, except for this time we're going to make the rotation rate,
Different.
2, 3, 2, 3. Actually, I probably should have made them faster, not slower, but let's find out what this does.
It looks awesome.
There we go. Yeah. See, now you have to dodge through that. Imagine that you're not this guy, this is the boss, and that you have to get through that mess.
That's cool. So how big is our hitbox right now?
How big is our hitbox right now?
It's probably huge. It is huge.
Is it?
If it's that square around the player.
It's,
right
no, it's
there.
not that square around the player here. If we go to 3D mode, so it'll actually show the freaking collider. No, it's still not showing the collider. Gizmos? Huh. Why is it not showing me my collider? Oh, it's because it's exceptionally small. See, there it is. It's that little cube right in the center.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Still seems too big.
Whatever. Whatever. Actually, I kind of agree with you. This is actually Radiant Silvergun size. I think Ikaruga might be single point.
I'm positive.
Pretty sure it's single point. Yeah. Which, there's no point primitive in Unity, so I'm not going to bother with that right now. And actually making the box small as a point will make it so that it doesn't really work.
Yeah, it's Ikaruga does function on a pixel, basically, of
Yeah.
your hitbox.
Yeah. It's actually not even a pixel. It's literally a 3-dimensional point in space, or a 2-dimensional point in space.
Dimensional space.
Two-dimensional, really,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that game's really just 2D.
They don't have the
but,
hitboxes that you can see, unfortunately. You can actually see you can look at the hitboxes on
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be
Silvergun.
making a parallaxing background.
Yeah, we'll do that. That is the plan. That's in the cards. Oh wait, yeah, we don't want to wait.
That looks kind of cool, but
It does
it's
look
wrong.
Cool. Why is it
Why is it wrong?
like that? Oh, it's because the shots are slow again. Yeah, that's right. Player laser. These were 25 before. Yeah. And let's
It's
make this
still wrong,
Yeah, I
though.
need to make these reverse of themselves. So this one should be positive 45. This one should be negative 45. We were going to have to adjust this anyway because, remember, it wasn't doing exactly right before. So let's actually make that a little bit tighter now. Let's do like 25 degrees.
Yeah, we need to tighten up the graphics.
25. Wonder if anyone's seen that commercial. There we go. That looks good.
That dumb commercial.
That dumb commercial. I like that commercial.
I hate it.
I know, but I like it. All right, so that fixed that bug. So that was one thing that someone asked. Another thing that someone asked, we're going to do parallax. As a matter of fact, maybe I should just get to doing that first. But another thing that someone asked that I do want to do, if we don't do it today, we'll do it on another episode. He wants this enemy to take more than one hit, and I think that's a fair request.
Player?
No, the enemy.
Oh yeah.
No, the player. No.
Player's
I
one hit,
refuse.
boom.
I
Yeah.
refuse. I mean, we can do it. You can make a shield system. We've shown you how to do it in Star Fox. Just go ahead and follow the Star Fox tutorial. But we're going old school on this. If you get hit, you're dead. we'll have some lives. You'll get some second chances, but yeah, you want to try and get through that. Not if you get struck square on with a laser, you're gone.
I agree.
So, God, I kind of want to fix this null reference exception. Let's actually not do that though. So first, we're going to need some art. So let's try Open Game Art again.
Okay.
OpenGameArt.org. Let's see what we got for. All right, let's see.
Space.
Yeah, space. Again. I don't have tile. Let's see. Try space tile. Space.
It doesn't have to be space either.
No, it doesn't have to be space.
It could be a castle.
Like Castle Shikigami.
Yeah.
You were actually thinking that, weren't you?
Yes. Actually, I was thinking about Zelda.
Oh, you were? Okay. That does happen sometime. LPC Tile Atlas 2. What is this?
Wow.
Well, it looks like it has a castle.
Yeah, but it's not what I'm looking for.
Okay, well, fine. Nothing will satisfy Phil.
No, nothing will satisfy Phil. I'm insatiable. Insatiable?
You know, actually, I kind of like this one.
That reminds me of like
It's an isotile set, though.
Jungle Strike or Desert Strike.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with isotiles right now.
Helicopters.
I was hoping that it was going to be more like Xevious, is what I was kind of going for on that one.
Is there a way to make a camera persist through scenes? I set up a GUI camera and need to get that working on all my scenes.
Yes, there's ways we can do that.
We could do a singleton, probably. Yeah.
You could do a singleton, or you could do... If you were talking about just a GUI camera that doesn't have a logic attached to it, I would actually recommend just putting it in a prefab and then updating the prefab and make sure the prefab's in all the levels. But if you have something that you need to track on it, like if you want to keep a score manager or something on that, then there you might have a case for a singleton. But
Don't
yeah.
you have those 4 space backgrounds in the background? Oh yeah, we have those space
Yeah, I
backgrounds.
don't like them though. They're not really. All right, fine. Let's see what we got. All right, we're wasting too much time. Let's do it. People are already bored. You can tell. They're saying, "Don't. You've got stuff in there. Use it." So none of these are the things I'm looking for. Where are they? UI? No. Wait, where are these things?
I don't think they're in.
Oh, are they like in? Maybe they're in my public domain sprites folder. Space shear redo backgrounds. Here we go. So somehow I didn't get these in the project, so I'll rectify that right now. Well, this will save us some time because we won't have to do tile set stuff anyway. We're gonna go through purple space.
Okay. Not plaid space.
Not plaid space.
Not my space. God, that was dumb.
Yeah, let's do purple. All right, so what are we going to do? So let's create a... let's actually make this a texture, because that's kind of what we're going to actually treat it as. Apply. And we're going to create a material using this. How do we have our other files organized? Do we actually pull them out when we start using them, or... Materials. We pulled out the player spaceship. So if we ain't using... Okay, yeah, I guess we just keep it in there. That'll be fine. So... Oh, wait, textures. Blue energy kit. No, I do pull them out. Alright, so let's do it. So... To keep things organized, I'm just going to pull this and put it into our textures folder.
Okay.
We're going to create a material based on this. So we're going to do material. I'm going to call this purple star background. And we're going to drag this into materials. We're going to put purple on it. And I'm going to create a quad.
Okay.
This is going to be our background. I'm going to put it suitably in the background. So let's look at 3D mode here. Let's make it, ways back there. Let's just make it 10 in the Z. Because we're doing, we're in isometric mode, so it doesn't matter how far away it is, it will look the same size.
Neat.
And let's see, how should we scale this? Let's scale it bigger than we need, and that way we can scroll it around while we're moving our ship around. So let's first, I'm going to zero out the X and the Y, and we're going to scale it till, I'm going to grab the scale tool and scale it from the center here and make it big. Let's see, 25. 25 sounds good. We'll just do 25, 25,
25.
25. Actually, Z will do 1. Wait, no, just 1. Because it's actually incredibly flat if we look at it from the side here, and so we don't. You want to have it have thickness, but you really don't care about it beyond that. I don't think it'll hurt you to make it thicker than that, but it's not going to change anything. So now we're going to drag the purple star background onto our quad. I'm going to call this our background. All right, so first, I'm not going to actually start scrolling this thing just yet.
Okay.
Actually, we can just start. Yeah, let's do this. All right, so first I want to increase the tiling on our purple star background so that we get more of that look to it. So let's do 5 and 5. Let's see how that looks. That might be too obvious on the tiling.
Why not just drag and drop the sprite?
Well, we could just drag and drop the sprite, but do sprites have a tiling option on them when we make a thingy out of them? I don't think they do. I mostly did it as a texture for the purpose of making this like, you can't just drag and drop this onto something if it's a texture. If it's a sprite, you can do it, but a sprite you can't just tile, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for sprites to tile. They did that intentionally. So we have a background, and what I want to do is we're going to make this thing scroll. And and this texture doesn't have a width height multiple of 4. Who cares? Oh wait, that's not what I was looking at. Purple. What is this? 256 by 256 RGB. Okay, perfect. That'll be fine. So, so we have this thing going, and there's a few different ways we could do this. We could make it so that right now we're having enemies come into the screen, and the player's actually staying still, and we can get away with that. Mm-hmm. We might change this later. I'm going to actually stick with it for now. The reason we might change it later is if we wanted to change the way that we do level designs to be more of a designer-centric approach, as opposed to like spawner / programmer timing-centric. It would be space-centric. And so we're just going to assume that we're going to keep going the course for right now. As usual, with decisions like this, I reserve the right to change this at any time in the future.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to actually make this not filtered for the texture too, to give it more of a sharp look. Actually can't tell much of a difference, I'm sure, on the video, but it does make a difference. So, and let's go ahead and make it true color. So scrolling, what we're going to do is, as I said, we're going to simulate movement through the scene in the way that we're setting it up right now. And the way we're going to do that is by actually changing the scrolling on the material itself. So I'm going to create a new script. Where is our script? Create new script. This is the way I would do it, by the way, if we were turning this into an infinite scrolling, vertical scrolling shooter. You'd want to keep it this way because A, it means that we maintain our position near the origin. B, it means that we're not moving a lot of things around opposite of the way that you expect them to move in order to counteract that. And instead, we're just not moving things at all, but we're making it look like it. And it works better for timing / spawn-based concepts. As I said, if we change this to more of a designed game, we will rework this. So I'm just gonna create this and call it background scroll. And this is going to handle both our left, right, and up, down scroll. And you may say, wait, why would we have left, right scroll? And I'll explain. I actually like it when a lot of shooters, even the early ones, knew to not lock you to a single screen. As soon as they started having a hardware that allowed them to do bidirectional scrolling. And so what they do is they typically scroll a little bit to the right as you reach the right edge side of the screen, and scroll a little bit to the left as you reach the left.
Think of Raiden.
Yeah, exactly. Raiden does this. Twin Cobra does this. Ikaruga does not do this.
No, Ikaruga does not do that.
Yeah. Nor does Radiant Silvergun.
They're very much locked.
Yeah, they are.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Different
Suits their
styles.
style.
So I'm going to do public vector. Actually, let's do
Or
public
Xevious.
float.
Xevious also did that.
Vertical scroll speed. Yeah. Wait, no. Xevious actually did it scroll left and right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
I think it did too. Yeah. I'm gonna just default this to 1.0f. We can of course change this.
if I'm wrong, you can let me know.
And this is kind of going to be in. Is it going to be screens per second? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adjusting the. Let me show the material here. Purple star background. We're going to be adjusting the offset, and so like if we adjust the Y, and I can't drag these for some reason, so you'll have to bear with me. So I do by 1. It looks like wow, this doesn't actually work at all. It's because this is actually floating point. So 0.1 and it moves down a little bit. 0.2 it moves down a little bit more. 0.3 it moves down a little bit more. 0.4 and then all the way up to 1, and it's back in the original position it was in. So it's kind of going to be sort of screens per second. So the adjustment's going to be fine on that. So public float horizontal scroll multiplier 1.0f. Even though this is going to be far lower than that. I think both of these are going to end up being lower values.
Yes.
So, and all we're going to do is we're going to attach this to our background. So we'll do transform.material transform.material renderer dot material dot set color texture dot main texture offset. There we go. Dot main texture offset. There we go. So this is what we're going to be modifying in both cases. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to increment the Y. So I'm going to create a new vector 2 that has what we want in here. So vector 2 new texture offset equals, I'm just going to set this equal to what we had before for right now.
Okay.
And then what we're going to adjust is, at the end we're going to set doing things out of order. Sometimes I do this just so I don't forget things. Equals new textures offset. So this is our initial one. So right now it does nothing. This is just setting it to the same thing that it was just at. But this shows you the process of what we're going to be doing. We create this new texture offset, we adjust it appropriately, and then we give it back to the main texture offset. Keep in mind, we are doing this on a single material that I'm assuming that we're not reusing in the scene. If we were reusing it and we wanted the scrolling to be maintained between the two objects that we're using it, which wouldn't make much sense in this case, but just throwing this out there, you can do shared material, and then you can just change the material, and you will retain your draw calls, and you won't split this thing up. Mm-hmm. Whenever you call renderer.material, it instantly instantiates the material it's using, as opposed to keeping it the way it locked into the one that it was attached to. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but basically, if you tell a texture to scroll or something, it now needs to be a new texture because they assume that you don't want everything else to scroll the same. If you do want it to scroll the same, you use shared material. If you want them to not scroll the same, but you want to retain your draw calls, then you have to get creative. More creative than I'm probably prepared to do on this show. So,
are we using a
or
shared
ever.
material?
Right now we're just using material. It'll be fine because there's only one in the scene anyway. So, now that we've had that aside, we are going to take new texture offset dot y plus equals vertical scroll speed. And then I did y first. Is going to do that one was going to be easy. Oh yeah, and we want times time dot delta time. All right. So new texture offset dot x. This one is not going to be plus equals. Now the reason I set it up as equals to the main texture offset is so that we could get away with doing this plus equals. But we're not going to use it for the x. The x is actually going to be based on the player position, which I think the player's tagged, right? No, of course not.
Why would the player be tagged?
It would just be too easy. Well, the player's tagged now.
I'm tagged now.
Yes. And so we're going to find game object dot find game object with tag player dot transform dot position. So we're going to be doing something related to this. So we're going to do his position dot x times horizontal scroll multiplier. I think that's all we're going to need for that. So if we hit save and hit play, well, not hit play, we need to attach the script that we just made first. So this is background scroll. We're going to put this on the background, and I'm going to hit play. And
holy moly!
Yeah, he's moving way too fast on that. But we
way
are
too
scrolling.
Fast on both.
Yep. As I said, we were going to have to probably make both of these smaller values.
Yes.
All right. So let's do that. So we're going to go to our background. We're going to change the vertical scroll speed to 0.25. Make it a nice
horizontal scroll should be like 0.1.
0.1.
Yeah. And that might even be too much, honestly. Oh no, that's good. It's kind of what I had in mind.
Yeah. Background.
Maybe a little bit faster in the horizontal movement, I think, or in the vertical movement.
I don't know. You don't like the leisurely Galaga pace?
A little too leisurely.
All right. Exciting.
Yeah.
Double speed.
Much better.
All right. Cool. So there we go. We have some basic scrolling background stuff. Now we could do multiple layers too, if we wanted to. One of the tricks with that is if you go mobile, I'm going to tell you right now, fill rate is the enemy.
Hey.
When you're on mobile. No, not Phil. Fill rate, your evil cousin. His rates are great, but yeah, he'll destroy your mobiles. So yeah, so fill rate is basically the concept of drawing things on the screen. And in particular, on mobile is slow at drawing transparent stuff over non-transparent stuff. You've seen this on your own projects, and you were shocked by it.
Get rid of transparencies, essentially.
If you do anything that's full screen, you're gonna hurt on any of the earlier generation stuff, and maybe even on the new generation stuff too.
I don't know about the new generation stuff as well.
Yeah. So if we wanted to, we could do it as transparency. We could do it as some geometry thing. I actually don't have anything prepped for this, so maybe we'll actually explore this on the next episode.
So there's a question of, isn't find game object at runtime not always recommended? Like every frame? Yeah. Yeah,
it's not recommended. It's really not that slow unless you have a lot of objects in your scene. If you have a huge amount of objects in your scene, I think it's an O of N operation, which means that
just store it in a variable if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Well, you could find
if you'd prefer, you could find it on the start here. Like we just go private private game object transform. Yeah, we care about the transform more than anything. Transform player equals. And then we'll just grab this chunk. Wait, no, we can't actually do that. Let's grab it again and start. We do that, and we get rid of this because the compiler will be like, "I don't understand what you mean. I don't know what a player is."
You could always just check for it being
and
null
then we do
find it again.
Player dot position, and so this would make it so that it only happens at start. Now, thank you.
You need a semicolon.
So the thing is, part of the reason I do it on the frame, especially for this type of operation, this is actually really common in Unity games to do it every frame for the player. is because A, it's not a huge overhead unless you have a lot of objects. If you have a lot of objects, it can be an overhead. And B, it means that if our player blows up at some point, we can get him again if we spawn a new one.
Well, you could technically get it again. You just check for a null.
Yeah.
And then if it's null, you find it again.
Actually, let's do that. This seems like a great solution. So if player does not equal null, then we do this. Else
we find that player.
Yeah. Player equals game object. Find player. What's nice about this is this will happen every frame until the player comes back. So, like, if it takes time for him to respawn, this will pick it up, and we won't have any logic based on the player here. Yeah,
we shouldn't
I like
get
this.
null reference exceptions.
I like
either,
this.
So
Yeah,
I think this is a good solution.
This is a good solution. I'm gonna put it right out there. Proton Pulse just finds the player. It just finds the ball. It just finds things all the time. It finds my tag all the freaking time. I think the only thing that I do find by tag that I periodically do is checking to see for the win condition, just because checking every block is sometimes a pain. But so play. All right, what we got? We got scrolling. We got this. We didn't do anything. What did we do? Oh, we just made it so that.
Oh yeah, so kill the player real quick.
So let's kill the player. So we kill the player. It says game over. It stops scrolling.
Did it actually give a null objects? Yeah, no reference exception. Oh, because it can't find the player.
Wait, why can't it set that to...
Because it's doing dot transform on the same line. Maybe.
Oh, got it.
You could do a try catch or separate it out.
Let's separate it out. So we're going to actually make this a game object. And we're going to change this to player.transform.
And make sure to get rid of the transform reference.
Because this will
up above
appropriately
as well.
return null, but we were dereferencing something on the player, so... Wait, what was the other thing?
There's another transform.
Oh,
up
thank
here.
you. Bam. Save.
Yeah, because we were directly referencing the transform.
Let's try that again. Alright. And I die. There we go.
Stop scrolling.
Stop scrolling, which actually, that's
I think that's
kind of cool.
Press return to reset. Does it actually reset?
Maybe it's not appropriate. I mean, we could, if we wanted it to keep scrolling, we can just move this down. Well,
I don't think we need to keep scrolling.
all right, let's just leave it for now. We'll
My
play
opinion.
we'll play the unhappy the game stop scrolling music
Yeah.
at that
Just
point.
makes me think
Cue
of
the
Galaga.
music. Yeah, exactly. Although Galaga did stop some of the scrolling. I think the star particles still went, but like, well, wait, the whole background was I need to see now. Galaga
Oh no, we're gonna hear noise.
video.
Yeah, make sure we turn off the volume though.
No, I'm just gonna let people suffer. I'll turn off the volume.
Just because of the.
All right, so it's not scrolling. He's not alive. Actually, this may give us some ideas on what's going on. It starts scrolling, but the player's not there, so it's not directly connected to the player. We know that. And if you lose, this person doesn't lose. Level 22 ships. That sounds pretty good. I would
Turn
imagine.
off the volume.
Oh, thank you.
Already
It's already
off.
off. Perfect. So
I don't think they're gonna die.
wow, they just don't care. It's like, I'm just going to get to level 20, and then that's the end of my game. I don't understand
Okay,
that.
we're
All
not
right,
gonna
we're
keep.
done.
Yes, thanks. Okay.
All right, we're done. I'm done checking. So let's make this guy a little cooler. So first of all, I want to change this guy's AI so that he's not so stupid. So we're going to make his max distance higher. We're going to make his move time. We'll keep it as 1. We'll make his wave time. We'll keep it at 1 for now.
Oh yeah, we should make him change colors when he gets hit.
So right now he chooses a location and moves to it at a set rate. And he doesn't have any like ranges or anything that stops him from going further away.
No. You should probably be actually picking a sphere around the player. Or
Interesting.
an area around the player.
God, that would be horrifying.
Yep.
You actually want that?
Yep.
All right. Let's do it. So
Or an area just in front of the player, so he's at least kind of nearby to where you are. Doesn't just wander way off screen.
You could switch between concentric spheres.
That would work.
All right. I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to call this harass player.
Well, that's what he should be doing. It'll keep you moving.
Harass player. All right, so going to be very similar setups. Max distance is going to mean something different, but we're going to keep it there.
We're probably going to need that reference to the player, kind of like what we just did on the other thing,
Yeah.
so we can get its transform.
All right, so yeah, we're going to need a reference to the player. Let's do exactly what we did before. So we're going to do private game object player. We're going to do player equals find game object with tag. And then just do this if player is not equal null. Actually, we've already decided on... Okay, so what will we do? We'll just have it fall out completely if the player is...
It's just like, I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Who?
My world... No, that's
Oh,
what...
okay.
That's what...
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the thing would say.
Yes, got it. All right,
What is
so-
happening to my world?
And then we'll get him back here so that we have him. And so this will just fall out and start another coroutine repeatedly until it has a player again. And we can start doing things with the player now. So now instead of doing in position being an initial position plus move vector, we're actually going to... Well, actually, we can still do it as initial position. Let's just change it from transform position to
Player
dot transform position.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're done.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right, so let's hit save. Let's go into yellow UFO dude. Let's change him to not have this script. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to give him harass player. Let's set his distance to 5, max distance. And actually, maybe we should just have him only go to a distance from the player, as opposed to having the possibility that he'll decide to move right into you. He still might move through you. Let's see how it does first. Hit play. It's like, oh, well, we made some mistakes here.
Yes, we did.
I made some mistakes.
It's okay.
All right. So our problem is our initial position is actually should be transform.position. The end position should be player dot transform dot position plus move vector. Save. Low battery. Hold on. So I'm gonna hit play. No, I think it's gonna do what we actually wanted to do. So it's like, oh god. No, I don't like you. I don't like you at all.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Can you die and respawn and see what it does
Yeah, sure.
with all of those coroutines?
We die, and he just sits there. And he just sits there. I'm not going to actually respawn. Although, oh yeah, it's Stack Overflow. Okay, so that's a problem. So, what's a safer way of doing that? Let's... So we got a Stack Overflow, and the reason we did is because we kept throwing enumerators. Oh, we are missing a yield return. Something, somewhere, I think. Wait. Let's change this to a while. No. Did you see that? Did you just... Because this is actually the same... It looked like I opened a whole new file, but it's... See all that stuff that went away? From
Yeah,
double-clicking?
what happened?
It was mono-develop. It was being funny. It thought it was playing a practical joke.
Oh, that mono developed.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes indeed.
Watch out for that.
All right. How about this? We'll just do the yield return wait for seconds here because it kind of makes sense. There you go. Let's see if that kills our stack this time. Bam. Stack is preserved. All right. So theoretically, if we became a player again, here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually finally create a prefab of our player, which we have yet to do. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to kill myself. I'm just going to be like, oh no. And let's see if he picks us back up if I just suddenly make ourselves again. So we'll just say, where's the player? We'll just make the player go here. And there he goes. I was controlling the wrong screen there. There we go.
All right.
And then he stops. Cool.
Neato.
See, now he should move, stop, and then shoot at you.
We got a question of why no camera.
Why no camera?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
What do you mean, why no camera?
I don't know.
Oh, as far as like moving the camera as opposed to moving the background?
I guess.
I mean, we could do that.
That would...
Certainly could. The problem is, as I said, this is more of a setup for an infinite shooter, just because it keeps us near the origin at all times. See, as we play, it looks like we're scrolling. The player's like, oh, I'm flying through space. But the actual reality is, I'm not.
No, we're not moving at all.
Games lie to you all the time, by the way.
Yes,
you just
they
don't know
do.
it. Well, you might know it, actually. But you might not know the extent of their treachery, quite frankly.
Yeah, there's a lot of treachery in games.
So...
I don't think I know the extent of their treachery.
I'm sure I don't either.
I have estimations of their treachery, educated estimations from playing a lot of games.
I just assume they're far more treacherous than I realize
Yes.
from what I do know about their treachery.
So that's kind of a cool AI. So someone wanted this guy to take multiple hits. Let's make this guy take multiple hits. First of all, he's too small to take multiple hits. I know that sounds like a stupid thing, and it's not actually a real limitation, but I'm going to make him a little bigger.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I feel uncomfortable with a ship that's the same size as the player ship taking more than one hit. It has happened in games before, mind you, but we're not doing that. That's not us. So,
got a mention of Game Center CX. Very nice.
Someone
Yes.
actually mentioned it. Yes, they did. Yeah,
That's awesome.
They ran it for like a month though. That was good. I love it. Yeah, Xevious. They just were like, yeah, we have a code that makes it so you can't die. So they just left it running to see how. Just did a soak test on it, and then unfortunately someone had kicked the power out, or they had a rolling blackout or something. I don't know. Japan, I think, has better power than anyone else in the world, so I think it's probably someone just kicked
They
the
said
cord.
sadly the power went out and they
Yeah.
stopped. Yeah, that doesn't mean that the power died.
Yeah.
So, but yes.
So-
I think if it's going to take multiple hits, it should change colors.
Yeah, it's gonna have to have. Okay, so the other problem with it taking multiple hits is it's either gonna have to take a whole bunch of hits
Now, that
because
thing is
we're just
angry.
throwing bullets out the wazoo here.
Invulnerability frames.
So we might, yeah, iframes is what I was considering actually. So it hits it, but then it doesn't take it. Now we could do it Raiden style, where it just takes all the damage and just has like 100 hit points or something. But
I'm okay with that as well.
Have it take 100 hit points and replenish a hit point every once in a while.
all right, I'm down with that. All right, so let's
Object
create.
reference not sent to an instance.
Yeah, this one happens whenever we stop, and it's because we have some game manager thing that we do on Destroy that
Interesting.
probably we shouldn't be doing anything on Destroy, but I'm not going to worry about it for right now. We haven't worried about it for like 6 episodes, so I'm not going to start right now.
Okay.
So, house player, UFO dude, what are we doing? Okay, we're going to create a script called enemy health. So, for this, we're going to need a public float initial health. We're going to default this to let's default it to 10. And it's not going to be a float, it's going to be an int. I lied. Public private int current health and we're not going to worry about invulnerability time first. I'm just going to start with this. Let's see what we get with it. So first on the start, we're going to make it so that current health equals initial health. This allows us to change the health in the editor and have it not necessarily directly correspond to the health that the object has. It also means that if we reset or spawn a new one, it's all set up and everything's nice. So
Good.
And we're not going to do it in an update. We're going to do void on collision enter. And we're just going to have it on any collision for right now, but we'll adjust that later. So, and actually we don't want on collision enter at all. We want on trigger enter. On trigger enter. As I said, most of the stuff we're going to be doing in this game is going to be trigger based because we almost never want something to be hit by a bullet and then fly off into space.
No.
It could make an interesting game. Don't count that out, but that's not what we're making right now. So, on trigger enter, we're just going to assume that anything that hits it does 1 point of damage. So we're going to do initial health minus equals 1. And if current health is less than or equal to 0, destroy game object. We'll make this fancier in a bit. Lowercase game object.
You wanted current health minus equal 1 instead of initial health, right?
You were right. Current health.
Very
and
good.
actually, let's just do minus minus. I like that better. So minus minus just means decrement by
Same.
1.
Yeah.
There's plus plus as well. It's actually where the C plus plus, the plus plus from C comes from, even though plus plus was in C as well. So I don't know. They just thought it was funny. It was misguided programmer humor like usual. So this guy, does he even have a collider? Like, do we have this guy hooked up for anything? No, we don't. This guy's just a horrible waste of space. So we're gonna give him a rigid body. We're gonna set it to kinematic. We're gonna give him a box collider. Actually, he is a really good candidate for a sphere collider. I'm just saying, considering he's practically a sphere.
Yeah.
So, and it's already perfectly outlining him. That's great. It'll feel great. And then we'll do is trigger. Yeah, that's good. And then if we hit play, at this point, he doesn't have the script, so this is still... Oh, he can kill us real good. Man, that was brutal. All right. So what are we doing? We're going to is kinematic. We're doing something. Oh yeah, we wanted to give him this health. Health. Where is it? Enemy health. So we're going to throw this on the yellow UFO dude. I'm going to give him a health of 100, and we're going to try shooting him. So he's taking a lot of bullets, and he disappeared. So it worked, but very little feedback. So like we can't tell that we're hitting him other than he's taking the bullets away. And if our bullets continued going, like if we had a laser or something, we wouldn't even be able to tell that. And he's just disappearing at the end. So let's give him a few more variables so that we can get some player feedback on this. So, oops.
Well, that thing's nasty.
It is. It hates us. So it's
perfect.
much more nasty now that it actually has a collider. So, public game object, hit effect, public game object death effect. Should we be more consistent? What did we call it on Gib? What did we actually... Gib object Gib. Okay, whatever. We'll call it hit effect and death effect. That'll be just
I'm
as good.
okay with that.
So right now, we've got a couple particle systems, enemies. So I'm going to go ahead and create... so we have... Where are they? Prefabs, player Gib. There we go. Enemy Gib. I'm going to create a new one, duplicate, called UFO Gib. UFO Gib. Because
UFO Gib.
He's yellow, so we're going to give him a yellow Gib. We're going to go ahead and grab...
Right now.
We're going to grab Kenny Sprite Art, effects, no. Damage, no. Lasers, it was in lasers. It's not a laser that we're using it as, but there is no yellow. Alright, he gets red.
Okay.
So, screw it, we're just going to use the enemy gib. But we are going to actually...
I think the enemy gib is actually blue, isn't it?
Oh, it's blue. Okay, well, he'll get blue, whatever. So, I'm going to duplicate it and call it enemy damage effect. So we're going to pull this back in here, and we're going to make it considerably smaller. We're going to make it so that the start size is like 0.1. We're going to make it so the start speed is half the speed. And how many particles are we doing? 50. Let's do like 20. Let's see how that looks. So stop, simulate. That's still too much speed. I think. Let's do 1. Simulate. There we go. Actually, let's make it just 10 particles because we're going to be spawning a lot of these. So, so we now have enemy damage effect. I'm going to apply it to our prefab. I'm going to delete the one that's in the scene because we're done looking at it. And we're going to actually hook this stuff up. So, current health minus, instantiate death effect, or hit effect at transform dot position. Sorry, hit effect, comma, transform dot position, comma, we don't care. Quaternion dot identity. All right. And then we're going to copy this and paste it here, and we're going to instantiate the death effect in this case. Exactly the same parameters. Save. Come back in here, find our little enemy. UFO, yellow UFO dude. I'm going to apply this guy to the prefab just because I think he's had a lot of stuff change on him. So, and actually he's already in the suit. Let's do it on here. So, hit effect is going to be enemy damage effect. Death effect is going to be enemy gib. I'm going to apply one more time. We're going to hit play. And I'm going to try and murder him. Okay, that hit effect was too small.
That was way too fast, too.
Yeah. Was it?
It happened too quick.
Yeah, alright.
He needs 1,000 hit points.
Alright, we'll give him 1,000 hit points. Because we're just blasting at him right now. And let's get the enemy damage effect, make it a little bit bigger than I made it. Let's make these 0.2 and make the start speed 3.
Okay.
Let's see how this does. So, it is working, but the particles are kind of coming out of the center of them, and I think it would look better if it actually was coming out where the particles are actually hitting them, where the lasers are hitting them.
I agree.
So let's change that. So instead of doing transform to position, we're going to actually get some more information out on our trigger here. So we can do collider. I'm not sure if we can get this information. Let's find out though. This will be interesting. So collider col. So what do we got on here? Col dot bounds. Closest point on bounds to a position. Where will we get that position?
Magic position land.
Magic position land.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, so this is the enemy, right? So the collider is actually... Actually, let's just do col.transform.position. I'm just curious what this will look like. So instead of... don't know why I just typed that there. We're going to, instead of doing transform.position, we're going to do col.transform.position, and likewise on here.
Should the hit effect not be instantiated at the point the bullet hit rather than the center of the UFO?
That's what we're trying.
Would it be possible? That's
there we
funny.
go.
Yep,
so that
like
looks
that.
a lot better.
Yeah, that looks a lot better.
Back up here. Oh, God! It's so terrifying! Die! Oh, I got him. He needs a much bigger death effect. We need to do some sort of, like, multi-level...
I think it needs to change colors when it's getting close to being dead.
Yeah, that would be good, too. Maybe some flashing, flash orange. Do the classic Ninja Turtles orange flash. But we're not going to do that right now. Because it's 9:30, and honestly, I've had a very long day, so I don't think I'm going to take this into overtime like we usually do, because we're kind of at a good stopping point.
That's how
So I'm going to hit save. Going to hit save scene. Going to quit the project. Going to go over to this thingy.
Perforce.
We're going to reconcile our offline work. So let's see what we got. Test level. Actually, I'm just going to hit reconcile. We'll look at it in the list. Because I'm also going to do a revert. So remember we had opened all these things up. Actually, I do want to change those things. So never mind. I'm not going to do a revert. I lied. So all of the scripts here, so that we don't have to fight things next time, I'm going to actually go into change file type and make it so always writable in the workspace. And that means that these files will just be read-write at any given point. And so MonoDevelop won't complain at me anymore. And what would we do? So we changed the level, that's true. We added backgrounds, that's true. We created a purple background material.
Also true.
We changed the player. We changed the UFO dude. This looks pretty legit. So we're going to go ahead and submit.
Looks like it may very well be too legit.
Too legit to quit?
Mm-hmm.
All right. UFO
Too
AI,
legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. Wait, to quit.
Actually, we're supposed to use the number 2 on both of those occasions, I believe.
Like that?
Yeah, I'll do that way. Yeah, I like that. It's really, really dumb, and it makes me happy.
Rolling background.
You couldn't have
Other
just...
important stuff.
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer.
It's like MC Hammer.
Hammer time. UFO time.
Okay.
We're not even drunk.
It's like MC Hammer made that check-in.
You didn't put a capital apostrophe in the where.
I did not put a capital apostrophe in the we're. You're right. I instead just denied the apostrophe entirely.
altogether.
Just the face. Thank you for watching our show. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. Sorry for the meandering there at the end. But
I'm not sorry.
all right, Phil's not sorry. I'm sorry. Because it's my show. Now it's Phil's show, too.
I'm still
It's your
not
show.
sorry.
It's your guys' show. It's everyone's show. I'm feeling generous today. Email me, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. Tweet me, @Drakfire, DRAKFYRE. You should also buy Phil's game.
Actually, you can get it
no.
for free.
Get Phil's birthday game.
For free.
Robot Alone. For his birthday, he gives you guys stuff for free. Because
Yeah.
he's cool like that.
Download it. It's free right now. If
It's
you have an
free.
iOS
If you have an
device.
iOS device, get Robot Alone. Beat his high score.
Someone is very, very close
Yes.
to beating my high score, and it's making
Yes.
me quite happy. Now beat my high score.
Because you're going to have to play it again if he beats your high score. You know that.
Yes,
That's
the
brutal.
Idea.
It's
That's
brutal.
The idea. See how long it'll take for me to get a new high score.
All right.
Oh, yeah, and you can email me if you want to. Philip@protosoftworks.com, or you can send me a tweet, or you could look at my tweets, and that's @MagmaLemur. And you should donate to Cooking with Unity.
Oh, shoot. I don't know where my stuff is.
That's okay. We
all
can
right.
still say that we can donate.
Well, you'll get a keychain that's about yay big, and it's shiny. You'll have to pretend that it's here in my fingers, or maybe just post-process it. Just do a video response to our video and add the keychain, and then do a video response to our video and add the. I'm blocking my face with it right now. The
Coaster.
the coaster, yeah, the tile, the thing. It's glass. It's got two sides. Now I've made it really hard for people. Because I did the rotate. Now they're going to have to actually do a lot of work, and it's never going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen before anyway, honestly. But yeah, so $5 gets you a keychain. $10 gets you two keychains. One of them signed and numbered with a certificate of authenticity. Put one on your keychain. Save the other one, just in case. Maybe it'll be worth something. Probably not, but, might. Coaster is $20 for US, $25 for the rest of the world because shipping. And thank you very much. And you guys have a great night. And we'll see you again on Monday.
Have a good night.